How do I get my kids to really get something from the books I want them to get something from? This is my paraphrase of John's question. All right, so John, and to the rest of everyone, this is the warning one. Okay, I'm a Christian, and so this is a question that was aimed at me about how do you get your kids to really get more out of the Bible and read the Bible more. So to those that aren't people of faith, that's cool. All are welcome here, as you know. Okay, so apply this message to maybe there's a special book that you have that you want them to read. Maybe you're a self-help or developmental book that you want them to read, or anything. But this is for the younger kids, like 3 to 6, maybe 6 to 9. We'll look at those two different regions, our age groups. Regions is like a part of the country. So, John, I get your dilemma. You want so much for them to absolutely, just take hold of the book and be like, I get it. I get the whole God picture, the story, and this is awesome. But you basically told me your 3-year-old just wants the page to turn, and your 6-year-old is like, okay, great. So here's a couple tips. As far as like a Bible, you probably have heard of this resource. My kids eat up the Action Bible, and the Action Bible, for those who don't know, I'm also an author, and so I can just tell you that there's a trend in young person's literature. I won't give the technical words for it, but in young people's literature, there's a trend going heavily towards graphic novels. A graphic novel is basically a combination of a comic book and a book. So kids love comic books because it's action and pictures, lots of pictures, and the text, the words is only in bubbles, from dialogue and things. A graphic novel is essentially a comic book collides with a book. Very popular. You'll see them growing more and more popular every day. So the Action Bible is a graphic novel of the Bible, and it's thick. The kids will eat it up. My sons at 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 12, all love the Action Bible. And you can do the same for whatever book you want them to read. There's probably a graphic novel version of it. The second tip I want to give is, instead of trying to make the book itself the way you learn, make the book, as awesome as the book is, make the book a part of the learning. Kids, the younger they are, the more visual they are, the more activity-based they are. And kids of all ages, they want activity and they want creativity. So there's a few things you could try. One thing I'll throw out there to maybe the younger ones is, I'm just going to challenge your creative juices. So let's say there's a certain piece of reading you want to get across to them, right? Well, you've probably done devotionals, maybe for young people. And when you want to get the message across, you got to have some kind of a prop, some kind of an activity. I mean, you could go out and play kickball, and during kickball be talking about different lessons you want them to learn, and then they're all excited about it. Hey, Billy, remember we were playing kickball? We were talking about, when I can't even think of one right now, but when that happened over and like, yeah, that was really cool. Hey, would you like it if I showed you where in the Bible that was? We could even read it together. He'd be like, whoa, yeah, let's go do that, Dad. Boom. That's how you get them. You pull them in. Don't just go sit down and say, here's the Bible, let's read it together, son. It doesn't work so good for the younger ones. And then for the older ones, so at 9 years old, you could start this earlier. I began a weekly training. I call it man training for my sons, a virtuous woman training for my daughter. And on Sunday morning before our church, I get up and go get one of my kids up 101 early, 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, and we'll make a tea together. We'll be in our pajamas. We'll be sitting at the table, and we have curriculum. And I can share that curriculum if you're interested. But the curriculum is activity based. It's just a preset. There's 21 lessons in it, and it teaches just really awesome character traits. So it's character development for your kids. And again, you don't have to do a Christian-based one. There's tons of character development. And it's for me, I call it man training. I'm training him to become a man, training my daughter to become a virtuous woman. And so each week we would do that. And there's a lesson in there. There's a section of Bible you need to read in our Christian-based curriculum. And then there's 2 activities that we may have to leave the house, like go out somewhere in the yard and do some kind of a thing or make something. I mean, a few weeks ago with my daughter, I don't have it in this room right now, but we built a treasure box about this big out of popsicle sticks. It was not easy making the curved lid of a popsicle with popsicle sticks, but we pulled it off, and she was so excited, and the message was driven home, and dad and daughter got to spend quality time together. So look at your you're pouring into your kids. Look at it as far as, it takes more than just reading. Words are great. Now, there are some books, I mean, goodness, these Harry Potter books, when the kids are older, they just grab hold of them. The Narnia books, my kids just absolutely they hear the story and they're pulled in. It's not always easy to pull them into the Bible or some kind of character training book. There's so much more. I barely scratched the surface, but I'm just trying to give you the overall answer here is creativity. Creativity, activity, creative activity to get the point home. So I hope that helps, John. You probably know way more than I do on the subject, so I hope this helps.